Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Marketing
Corner.
Hey, that's lovely.
That was smooth.
Like I just laid it up, and you just did a little slam dunk.
Did a Michael Jordan on you?
You did a Michael Jordan on me.
Yeah. Who did the layups for Jordan? Was it like
Pippen? Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pips. Yeah.
Scottie P. Scottie Pips, my pal.
My pal, my buddy.
Welcome to Sports Corner with Casper and Jen. Hey, how about the Bears? I
don't know.
I'm a Yankees fan.
And the funny thing, I know nothing of sports. Do you follow sports?
I only like World Series or World Cup.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's
like when it's like big stakes.
Yeah. Other than I used to be a big Yankee fan.
Okay.
But like that
Baseball.
was like baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Right.
I'm a New Yorker. You
Yeah.
kind of have to.
Yeah.
It was Mets or Yankees. I started with the Mets and then I went
I always
over
found
the Yankees.
baseball to be like
Boring.
boring. Yeah. Just boring.
It's pretty
Straight up boring. Right.
Yeah.
There's like a few episodes a game where like, yes.
A few episodes.
No, but like,
Bless your heart. They get a lot of touchdowns. They get a lot of scores. Yeah.
Jen is mocking me.
I am. I'm
If you can't hear it, yeah, I can
I'm
take it.
laughing with you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, we're not talking about sports.
Nope.
No. Ooh. Wait, I'm gonna try to do a Casper level segue.
Okay, do it.
Speaking of things that not everyone likes.
Speaking of how to avoid episodes, you should not work remotely at all times.
Oh, I don't know. Is that too on the nose? Okay,
too
you're
much.
still pretty good at it.
I got it.
Okay, good job.
All right.
No, today we're going to talk about hybrid work, remote work, and office work because obviously it's been a big topic since COVID.
Yep.
But I think we have a pretty hot take that it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Nope.
And I think we have two different perspectives, one being a business owner
Yes.
and being someone who has a really long commute and tiny kids who can't put their own shoes on.
And I have a very short commute because I get to decide where the office is.
So, Casper, talk
Yes.
to me a little bit about what you... let's define it.
Yeah. So
What are these things that we're talking
so
about?
for me, it's just about defining like how and when people are allowed to work from home.
Do you allow people to work from home?
Yes, I do.
Do you have anyone who's fully remote?
Yes. Two people.
Okay.
No, two people. One is Matt, who's from the UK.
Okay.
He's in the UK, and we actually got him an office space over there, but it's just one guy. He's just like we're expanding slowly, but we'll get there. And then I have my assistant Monique, who's in South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Hi, shout out to Monique.
Shout out
She's
to Monique.
Lovely.
She's lovely. Matt, shout out to you too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're nice too.
Yeah. So those are the only two. Then we have three people that work out of that are in Odense. So they have a little bit more remote work than the rest of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And when they commute, do you put them up in accommodation or do they come in and go back the same
They come
day?
in and go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because Odense is 1.5 hours away-ish.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
For Denmark, it's long.
Denmark is long, but realistically, it's not that.
It's not that
It's
bad.
it's not very normal, but it's normal for people who live in Odense to commute to Copenhagen for work. It doesn't it's not ideal, of course. I think they also would love to have not that long commute, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. And I think for me, I originally, when I was at Onamundo, I would come in usually 3 to 4 days a week.
Yep.
But I live an hour outside of Copenhagen.
Yep.
And I have 3 small kids.
Yep.
Who go to 3 different schools, who all need to be dropped off at those different schools. And, especially toddler phase, you have a toddler.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be tough getting out the door in the morning.
It is really tough. Like Rosa is going through, that's my youngest. She's going through a phase right now.
Yeah.
Let's just call it that. She wants to do like the classic phase of like she wants to do everything herself. I can do everything myself, and just no is the standard answer to everything.
Yep. My daughter Tilda is exactly I can do it myself.
I can do it myself, Mom.
It's so slow, and I'm like my train, and
Yeah.
And I will give you an example for if I go into work.
Yeah.
I have to get the 7:30 train to get in on time.
Yeah.
That means I have to get my kids out the door by 7. That means I have to have them fed and sunscreened and dressed and everything
the
in
whole
between.
shebang.
So usually I'm up at like 5:30.
Yeah.
So I can get ready because I still need to shower and get changed and everything else. And I can't do that with 3 kids. And I try to do that while they're still asleep. And it's just like, go, stress.
Super stressful.
And then I'm on the train. And then when it comes time to come home, it's the same because I usually have to do the pickup. And the pickup has to happen by 4:30. So I need to leave like 2:30, 3. Trains are inevitably canceled or delayed.
Yes.
But that's a different story. So it's like I'm just always rushing. this morning, I worked from home in the morning, and then I came in to see you this afternoon. I took my daughter out to breakfast. Like, I got everyone ready. We slept in. We had a really nice breakfast. I took my daughter out to breakfast. I took her to a playground. She got to run around for a little bit, dropped her off at kindergarten. It was super chill. It was nice. We walked hand in hand.
Yep.
And I was still behind my desk before 9 o'clock.
Gotcha.
So from a life point of view, I love working from home.
Yep.
Because and then I can work till 4:15 to make sure I get my kids on time.
Yep.
Super easy breezy, lemon squeezy. But
here's the but.
There's the big old but. I do feel often less productive than if I'm in the office.
And I remember initially when people said all this, they were like, I'm way more productive from home. And I'm just not. Like, I do respect that I'm not like most people. And there are definitely also people on my team who are more productive from home. Or I believe that when they say it, I believe them. But I'm not one of them. And that's because, I think also because like, I'm probably, the way I consider my productivity these days is also a little bit different, because my productivity also comes from interacting with people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing, a lot of my time is spent talking to people, like solving problems. And I solve problems sometimes alone, but most of the time with other people. And that's just easier when you're close to them. It's
and I think for me, let me rephrase, I'm still productive at home. And a lot of times it helps me focus, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to put my head down and I need to build
and
a
that's
report,
when it's good,
or I need
right?
to do something.
Yeah.
But I have an interesting situation in that I am the only one on my team in Copenhagen.
Gotcha.
So my entire team is in either Stockholm, Finland, or Oslo.
All right.
So even when I'm physically in the office, I'm still on video calls. So I don't have that, and so maybe I'm an interesting case, but I don't have that, like the water cooler chat. Like, I'll talk to people, how was your weekend and stuff like that, but our worlds don't really collide that much as if when I was in Onamundo and I was sat with my team, and then you hear sales say something, or you're at lunch and you sit next to CS and they talk about something, and all of a sudden it's like that cross-functional communication is so much harder. Yeah. Because now, instead of these casual conversations, it has to be super intentional.
Yes.
Like, I have to physically write a message or record a message or make an agenda. Like, you really have to be intentional.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk to you about this because I read the summary of a book, not the whole book, by Harvard's Raj Chaudhry called The World is Your Office. Yeah. And it's a big study about hybrid work. Yes. And kind of, does it work? Doesn't it work? How does it work? And one of the things he said that I thought was super interesting was pre-COVID, about 5% of the world worked from home. Mm-hmm. After COVID, it's about 28 to 30% of the world are working from home.
Big
so it's
increase.
a really big jump. Yep. But our technologies are from the 90s, still a lot of it, with AI obviously kind of being the exception. And our managerial style is still from the 80s. Yes. So we have this kind of new world where people want to work from home, but we're still trying to manage them and using tools that are super outdated. Yes. What do you think of that?
I think there's a lot of validity to that, but I also think it feels a little bit easy. Easy to say that. Okay. Because what do you mean? Right? Because I understand the sentiment, and I do agree to some point. I don't think my leadership style is from the 80s. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And I think a lot of companies don't have leadership styles from the 80s. Okay. I think a lot of corporates do. Probably. And probably the larger the organization, the more true what he's saying.
And that might have been who he was interviewing. That's true.
Most likely, right? But for us, I don't think either the managerial or the tools like Slack, it doesn't feel like that's not from the 90s, right? Like, it's pretty new. We use Slack, we use Huddles, we use Google Meets, and we use stuff. Are they the perfect tools for solving this? Probably not, but they're probably some of the best we have. Like, I think
it's all we have.
Yeah. Right. So I think my point is that's part of the answer for me. I think the issue for me is just what I've found is just that, and this kind of also ties in why we're talking about this kind of thing in the relation of Marketing Corner, because this is also about marketing. Yeah. And I feel like there are disciplines and areas where it makes a lot of sense to have hybrid work, where so there's the cultural aspect, right? The reason you what you're missing out on if you're working completely remotely is the culture. And then I know people, but you can create culture virtual. I know, and you can, but it's harder.
It's harder. And
it's way harder. Yeah. It's never, and let's just be real, people. It's never going to be the same. Like, I'm not, let's not sugarcoat it. And I'm like, you can get away with a lot of stuff, and people are great at this. I'm not the one, but you can get away with a lot of stuff, but it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. And then for me, the other part is there's the whole gap in when you do things where there's a lot of collaboration involved, where it's a lot of like this stakeholder needs to, hey, what's your opinion on this? Should we tweak this color? What about this word? What about this? Hey, is this the right audience? All that stuff. That's collaboration, which is marketing, which is my point.
Marketing is super cross-functional.
Marketing super cross-functional. And the more cross-functional, the harder I find it to be remote.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not to talk down to engineers and developers and stuff, but I understand why some of them like, well, hey, it's just me and this other person. We're responsible for the safety of our login page. I don't know. I have no idea how to code. but you get my point. There's, and maybe I'm oversimplifying a lot.
But I know most of the engineers and developers I know, they'd rather be at home.
And nobody like
no one
blinks an eye.
them.
It doesn't seem to cause any problems. But I've just found that whenever like, it's typically, and it's nothing like whenever I have people who have a period where they're more remote than they're here, friction happens. That's simple. And if the cases where there's not friction, it's because they take up the mantle of working extremely hard or extra hard to avoid that friction. Yeah. And they over communicate, which is what I want. I also tell them like when you're remote, I actually tell my team the only demand I have is that when you're the remote and working from home or working from somewhere else, I demand or I want that you over communicate. Yeah. You have to be the one that communicate way more than you do. Because like I this sounds a little bit arrogant maybe, but I can't change my way based on how you are. Like I can't know, okay, so you're remote, so I need to over communicate to you today. Yeah. Oh, you're not remote, so I can stay the same. I will stay the same relatively. I can't keep changing like based on who I'm.
To meet everyone's needs.
No, to meet everyone's needs. So you have to compensate for your choice in being remote. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. And I tell my team that, and I think that's totally fair to some extent, right? But you have to over communicate, right? Because there's so many gaps, and like I think we have some team members who keep flagging. It's like, hey. This, and when they do it, over communicate, it realizes, okay, you're putting a lot more work into it. You can feel it, and then it works. But that's not for everyone, and not everyone does it. And when they don't do it,
problems happen.
Friction happens.
I want to make clear when I talk about dilemmas with hybrid, it's not because I don't think people are doing the work.
No, totally.
That question,
yeah,
and I know that comes up a lot.
That's not an angle I have at all. Either. Like that's not at all. Like
that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that we don't trust people.
No,
it's more. It's the gaps in communication. So this report found 3 areas that struggle with hybrid work. One is isolation. So people feeling lonely. And we saw that with COVID. People were super lonely. You don't have that person to have lunch next to or meet at the coffee machine. So that's one. 2 is communication, obviously, which we talked about. And I think we should talk a little bit more about that. But making sure, especially if you have time zones. God, I had a teammate in bloody Australia. Like,
it's so hard.
It was like, okay, let's talk at 9 o'clock tonight. It almost
feels impossible.
It's totally impossible.
Yeah.
And then the last one is socialization. And that's where, again, like the water coolers, like that chatting, those ideas and that sharing of information that happens casually. Yeah. And that's what I mean. When I have a Teams meeting with my teammate in Finland, I have to have an agenda and I have to make sure that every point needs to be covered because I don't know when I'm going to get to talk to him again. Like, sure, maybe I could say, hey, do you have a second? And my team is really great. Like, they're really responsive and stuff, but it's not like, oh, hey, I forgot to mention.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to go, hey, do you have a minute? And they're like, yeah, I can talk to you after lunch. And it's like,
exactly. And that's the thing. And that's friction. And that's the friction I talk about. And it's not because anyone's like ill-witted or don't have time or so. It's just like, instead of just walking over, you just have 2 minutes. Like, you can just like cover this. Like, hey, what do you think about this? I think it's great. Okay, cool. Run. That's enough. Yeah. Where here I have to, what do you think about this? And then I have to explain, oh, this over here.
Yeah, long slide. You know they're not going to read it. Yeah. And I think that's the problem that I have a lot. And we spent the first half. Yeah. These are the problems. Are there any other problems that we're missing? I think loneliness is definitely one.
Culture building, like the whole culture is definitely a part of what I feel is problematic, right? Because like, it's just, culture differently. Like for me, building SparkForce, that's been like one of the important parts was like I wanted to be like a nice place. I've always wanted it to be the place that I've always wanted to work. Yeah. Right? I can't service everyone and be like, so it's perfect for everyone. But like, I'm trying to build the thing that I would always want to work in. Yeah. And for me, that's a place where you want to come into the office. Yeah. You want to hang out with people. It's not because I have family. I don't like, I always hate the company say like, yeah, we're just like a family. That's fucking bullshit. Fuck off.
Don't say that.
We're co-workers that happen to like each other. Like,
don't
it's cool.
say we're family.
No,
you're
fuck
not
off
a
with that
family.
shit. Yeah,
I'm
bullshit.
not giving you my kidney.
No, exactly, right?
If you need one.
And let's be real. Would you fire your sister if she didn't perform?
Sometimes.
No. Right.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Like
I would not fire my sister. She didn't perform.
Your sister's actually really nice.
She's really cool. So my point is like, and so that's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But I think my point is just like we're trying to build something, and typically, especially also when I found that in new companies like Sparkforce or like my own here, but it's we're also figuring shit out. Like, we're figuring stuff out. Like, and that's also part of the culture building. Like, we're also figuring out, hey, what do we think about this? Do we support this? Like, do we care about this? No, we don't care about this. Okay, we do care about this part over here. And that part is just so much easier to do together. And then you talk about the water cooler chat, but I also talk about the lunch chat.
Yeah, lunch
chat. The
chat.
lunch chat is so important.
I shall say this is a very Danish thing.
Yes.
Because in our Stockholm office, you don't have lunch catered, so everyone goes off. And when I worked in London, everyone off. In Switzerland, everyone went off.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, you still go together. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay, sometimes. Right?
But it's like your pal. You know, it's like, hey, friend, let's go to lunch. Or you'll go grab a sandwich and work. You know, but there's not... That was the thing when I moved to Denmark. I was very moved by this. And for those who are not in Denmark, everyone gets lunch together in one place in a canteen, and most companies are catered.
Yeah.
So you have catered lunch and you all sit together. So at 12 o'clock, everyone at Sparkforce goes down to the canteen. Everyone at Verdane meets in the kitchen, and we all sit together and we eat together. And
so powerful, right?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Typically, sometimes we discuss work, but most of the time we discuss everything related to work. Like,
that's
we talk
you get to know about people's kids or what they did over the weekend.
Black Mirror episodes, what they did over the weekend, birthday episodes, like stuff. All that
episodes.
Stuff. Birthday episodes. What happens all the time.
Yeah. But I will, if I can put a little, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think culture is really hard, and that's something I know at Verdane we try to focus on a lot of like, how do we maintain culture when we have offices in like 7 different countries?
Yeah.
But I will say one downside of not allowing remote workers, and this is something we saw at Onamundo, was you narrow your talent pool.
100%.
So at Onamundo we had, for a while, it's changed recently, but for a while you had to physically be able to come into the office. You don't have to be in Copenhagen, so we had people in Malmö, but anyone further than that, unless you could come into the office, you're not considered. So we weren't able to kind of get the talent that maybe you'd find in London or in America or higher up in Sweden or Norway. It had to be local, and Copenhagen is small.
It's not a big. I agree, and I do agree that is hard.
No.
And here's my butt.
Here's your big butt.
Here's
Show
my
me your butt.
Because like, I do buy that, and then at the same time, I'm also like, so let me put it this way: would I rather have a talent, like the best talent in the world for whatever it is role that would be only remote, never have any, like, let's say you're based in the US or something, like the best marketeer in the world, like rare, or would I have someone who's really fucking good, some of the people I have in there, who's really fucking good, but maybe not as good as this whatever person. So let's say, just for the sake of argument here, let's say you're 20% less good. Maybe that's maybe it's like 8, some would say it's 10x better, whatever. Let's just say 20% less. I'd rather have the person who's 20% less good, right? And the reason being is that things will move faster because our communication flow is easier between us. We will have culture we'll be able to build. We'll be able to sync faster. And I think I can make up for those 20%.
And I think that applies for these kind of collaborative roles.
Yes.
But I've also worked in places where developers were
developers is different. Because I think when you look at stuff like AI talent, like especially there's the people who are really good at AI, they are so unique.
Yeah.
Like, that's so unique, right? Like, a lot of people, I'm good at AI. I can build an AI agent.
I know how to do a custom GPT.
I have a custom GPT, so I'm like, a big deal.
Expert.
But my point is, there's a few, and you can see, like, I think it was Facebook that was talking about Meta going out and, like, buying the best engineers in the world, just paying them 100 million per person per year. Like, something fucking crazy, but it's like, you're worth it. Like, my point is, then it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, then I'm buying. But in other cases, when it comes to marketing, and don't get me wrong, I love all the people who are on team and stuff, but we're not all of us unique in that way, right? Like, it's not like the marketeers in my team can solve things that no other marketeer on the planet can solve, right? And so I think my point is this: here, I'd rather take a hit on talent, like, and I'd rather take a hit in that sense, because like I think you create a stronger culture and stronger dynamic, and I think that's worth it. And I do think then whenever I think one of the benefits from someone like you and I that compared to the companies you've been at before. If you were to start a company where you need to hire talent, you know the best people in Copenhagen.
Yes,
you do know the best people, and you for every role you would, if you need to hire a salesperson, you know exactly who to call.
Yeah.
If you knew a sales leader, you know exactly who to call. If you knew a marketer or a customer success,
I should just start a business. I'd have the best business.
My point is, you could attract the talent.
Yeah.
And even though there's a scarcity of talent, you know the ones.
But those people are gonna want flexibility. They're gonna want to be able to work from home, right?
But I like it's similar. I do offer that as part first. It's just the thing is just office first. And office first that like if you have a weekday with 5 days, I expect you to be here 3 days and then you can be home from 2.
Okay.
Or something, right? And then sometimes you can have a week where you're like, okay guys, I need to be home 4 days. Totally cool. I'm not like, I don't care. Yeah. It's just the mentality needs to be try to be here more than you're from home.
And that's actually what this report found. So they did the study, most of it was in Bangladesh, but they also did one in the US. So take it for what it is in terms of
I was about to say, is Bangladesh representative of Denmark?
I think it was proximity for the researcher, but also there was some stuff done in the US. But they found, by and large, people who were, and it was interesting, they didn't call it in office, they said in person.
Yeah.
Because they said it doesn't necessarily have to take place in the office, but as long as you are with people physically.
Yes.
The best performers and the most effective were 25 to 40% in person.
Yeah.
And then, so it wasn't 100% in the office, it wasn't 100% remote, but it was so that kind of 25 to 40%. And effective was happy with like employee satisfaction.
Yep.
Performance and productivity, and manager satisfaction in their performance. So,
and I think I'm pretty flexible. Like I'm one of my leadership rules I always have when I also interview new people to join. I always tell them, I don't like if you and I agree we're gonna be finishing something by Monday, and you tell me, Casper, I can get this done by Monday. If you decide to do it Sunday evening or Friday morning, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like as long as it's done by Monday.
Exactly.
That's the trust. So and if you work remote on Friday, then like I don't care. Like as long as it's done Monday.
Yeah.
And it's the same mentality where everything else where it's just like, but I just know I've just seen that like we aim to have more people have you more in the office than you're from home.
Yeah.
And if you can like if that's just like and once that starts wiggling, then we start seeing friction. Yeah. So I'm like like we just we have Personio for this like HR stuff, and in there people just log if they're working remotely or working from the office.
Yeah.
And then we don't really. I've never checked it myself, but if I ever were to bring up that someone felt you've been a lot of remote, then I could technically check if that's also been the case, right?
Yeah, we also had a problem with like, and this is slightly off topic, but it was like people who wanted to be home would call in sick.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to be at home. And it was like, well, are you working from home or are you sick?
Yeah.
Don't say, I'm working from home, but I'm not available for meetings and I'm not available for you have to pick and choose. Are you sick? Then we don't expect to hear from you. But if you're not sick and you work from home, we better fucking hear from you.
Exactly.
I hate that.
No.
Okay. I think for me, it's a balance, right? Because from my life, working from home works really great. I get to sleep in. I get to have relaxed mornings. I do feel somewhat productive, but I do feel isolation. I do feel struggles with communication, and I do feel struggles with socialization. And again, even when I'm in the office, I don't have work-related discussions with most of the people there because we're all in different areas.
And that's also a little bit different, right?
It's a different setup, so I'm a unique case, but I think I feel it more because it is more remote. Like, even if I'm in the office, I'm still having virtual calls with everyone.
Yeah.
So you have to be super intentional. So maybe we'll spend the last 10 minutes of this episode, like, how do we thrive and succeed in a hybrid environment?
In a totally hybrid? 100%.
Well, as in some office, some remote.
Yeah. Well,
over communicate,
like when you're working remote, you have to over communicate. You have to expect that other people are not up to speed at what you do. As an example, we have at Sparkforce, so each morning whenever everyone posts in Slack, just a simple like, hey, are you working from home or are you working from the office? Or you actually only post if you're working from home. You don't post if you're in the office because then people assume that. So if you're working from home, it's just, I'm working from home. These are the main things I'll be working on today. So just, and it's not for micromanagement or anything of the sorts. It's literally just to like, if you had like an expectation that you'd be working on these kind of things, then like, okay, that's not mixing here. Like, are we doing the right things and stuff? So it's more like, okay, I'm working on audits today, or hey, I'm working on these 3 clients. I have a bunch of weekly meetings, so still just so people don't have to go and check calendars and guesswork and stuff.
One of the things I also did at Onamundo, so we had meeting free Thursday, which was something I started with my team. So we tried to keep that free, and we said that could be your work from home day, because it was easier if we knew everyone was working from home on a specific day.
Yeah.
And that was, we could work around that. So if we had face-to-face meetings, we would book them not on a Thursday. And if people had doctor's appointments and stuff, I said, please try to do it on a Thursday because you're home anyway.
Yeah.
And then when kids started school and it got intense, I said, team, are you okay if I also work home on Mondays? And they were like, that's fine. So everyone knew Mondays and Thursdays I'd be from home. So it was very set in stone. It was, so people knew, and then I could work around it. Also, some of the suggestions, at least in this book, and I think with AI, is AI summaries of conversations.
I have that on all conversations with clients and all internal meetings where it makes sense.
Yeah.
Not if it's private.
Yeah, I mean, even some private, I keep those in a separate file just to remember. I sometimes send voice notes as well. If I'm walking to work and I'm like, just had a thought. Can't be bothered to put it in here, and then people can listen to it. And
That's good. I don't do that too much, but some of my other team members do.
Yeah, I think voice notes can be good.
We do a lot of huddles.
Oh,
do you like
Slack huddles?
Slack huddles. I think especially some of the Matt in the UK, Amanda who lives in Odense. Some of the people in Odense also they also have a little bit extra privilege when it comes to remote, because it's a little bit further. So I'm like a little bit more flexible. I'm very flexible, but they're more. And then sometimes they just do a lot. They've learned to become accustomed to over communicate. So then they're like, okay, let's just jump on a quick huddle. So they just call me on Slack, like, hey, huddle. Quick, get it done, out. Yeah. That works really well too.
And I think it would also, and this would go maybe to the managers like yourself, like if I'm going to write you an agenda or I'm going to write you my thing, you need to read it.
Yes.
That's the other thing is like, if you want me to over communicate, then you need to receive it and you need to process what I'm saying to you, because it only works if it's two ways, right?
Yeah. It also puts a lot of pressure on your communication channels, such as Slack in this case, right? Because Slack etiquette suddenly becomes way more of a thing if everyone has to over communicate.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you don't want a wall of text.
Yeah. Suddenly it becomes like, okay, guys, you can babble all you want, but let's be precise here.
That's why I use ChatGPT. I'm like, with the notes here, I'm like, put this in a Casper friendly version. Yeah. And it's just like 5 bullet points. Here's the 5 things you need to know, Casper.
I'm such a bullet point kind of guy. It's kind of crazy.
You are.
Yeah. But that does matter a lot. Like, I think a common example is just whenever people, whenever they learn Slack the first time, they don't write in threads. So let's say you have a question. Hey, sometimes. How do you how does this whatever tool work? And then somebody pings, and then the entire channel, and it's like, and you go back and like 29 notifications, like what the fuck happened? And it's like from the same conversation.
I do that sometimes if I reply to you or to me. I just I don't remember to hit reply because I'm in this channel and I'm like, oh man, I did it again. Sometimes Timmy's like, putting this in the thread. Sorry, Timmy. I'm such a boomer.
There's a bunch of stuff. I actually educate people on Slack etiquette sometimes, but not that much. It's okay. A
few other things that I think that was interesting from this report, right? It said 25% of your time in the office, but that didn't mean like 2.5 days a week. No. It was like maybe 1 week a month, like where you spend a whole week in the office, or it didn't see a difference between 2.5 days per week, or it was just like 25% of your time. Also, like get-togethers.
Yes.
Where you can all, like when I worked at Dixa, we had people in America, we had people in London, we had people all over the world. So once a year we would all come together in one beautiful location to actually get to meet each other.
I actually do that too.
Yeah.
So Monique is a little bit different in South Africa.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, because it's an expensive thing. We're actually flying her in August. Nice. Oh, September it's gonna be, but August, September.
Okay.
But Matt in the UK, we fly him in once a month.
Once a month.
Once a month, I fly him in.
I met him here. Yeah.
I fly him in once a month. And when we had at one point, we had one Nana who used to work in Aalborg, or lives in Aalborg. And Aalborg is not, it's far enough that you can't commute.
Yeah, that's not.
That's what's.
I met someone once who commuted by plane.
And you can do that.
You can
and
commute by plane.
That's what we did. We flew her in once or twice a month.
Oof.
Yeah.
See, that's good.
And that's just also just to show that's how much I believe it's important.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of money, by the way.
I can imagine.
It adds up.
We are actually, announcement went out this week. Breaking, no, but because we have, I think it's 7 offices.
Yeah.
I'm not going to count them live on air, but one of the things that our company's now looking at is renting apartments.
Yeah.
Because they really want us to spend like a week in each place.
Makes sense.
And so they're actually looking into renting apartments that we can just take and we can live in that apartment and work.
We should probably do that here for one day in the future.
And I think that would be really great, because my whole team's in Stockholm. So when I'm in Stockholm, I get a lot of energy and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. But I also think the nature of my work is very siloed. Like I just help with portfolio companies. So my role is like, I'm not working within a function to build the marketing up in this function. I'm looking at an isolated case and trying to help them. And they could be in Vienna, they could be in Sweden, they can be in Helsinki, they can be all over the world. Yeah. But all of them, we do like one face-to-face workshop to actually get to meet them physically.
But also, I want to say, just as an ending note, because we're going a little bit over time here, but but I also find that the companies that started out and being like completely remote, 100% remote, I've seen, I can't remember all of them to list it, but I feel like a lot of them are also pulling back.
I'm supporting a company now that is 100% remote. Their whole 15-person marketing team they're all in different countries, and it's really tough.
Exactly.
It's really tough.
Yeah, exactly. So some of the companies I've helped have been remote and fully, and then have like doing COVID and then kind of stuck with it and like, okay, we're pulling back. We're getting that. So there is a pullback, right? Yeah. And I think I've just tried to create an environment here now where it's like, it's a perfect hybrid. It was like 60-40 or something. So 60% from office, 40% from home. It's more like, I prefer to be more, but it's okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I go.
Cool. So to wrap up, hybrid is the way forward.
Yes.
But you got to over communicate. Yes. And you got to think of ways to break down that isolation and make sure that communication gap
requires more work.
It requires more work, but I think if everyone gets on the same page of how they work and how they expect each other to work, it can work. Because I don't think we'll ever be all back in the office 100%.
No, I would never want that from people either. Yeah. No, I would never expect that. I don't want that. I don't think that's the right thing either.
And we're seeing a shift away from 100% remote. So hybrid is the way going forward.
Hybrid.
And we see that people actually work better that way.
And I have hybrid with office first mentality. Let's call it that. So like I prefer to see you more at the office than from home, but you are definitely allowed to be from home.
Yeah. Cool.
Love it. Thanks for listening,
guys. All right, guys. Enjoy your home office. Bye.